You find me here today on the platform at Althorn Station, ready to head off on another railway adventure. Today we're going to be exploring some of the stations on the Crouch Valley line. I'm just going to give you a quick little clue as to where we're heading off to first today. Yes, it's Burnham-on-Crouch. So I am aware that I'm wearing a Santa hat even though it's after Christmas, but I was filming this before Christmas and I'm just feeling the vibe of the hat. I'm really enjoying it. So, going to keep the festive spirit going into the new year.
Welcome to this service for Southminster. We will be calling at Burnham-on-Crouch and Southminster.
We have made it to Burnham-on-Crouch. So, as with other stations on the line, the station here at Burnham-on-Crouch opened in 1889 by the Great Eastern Railway. There were originally two platforms with a footbridge going over the line and station buildings. There was also goods sidings and a goods shed and a 24-lever signal box. Unfortunately, the signal box was closed in 1967 and the north platform was closed by British Rail in 1969. So we're just down to the one platform here now. Now, I have covered a lot about the wartime history of this line in the video I did at Battlesbridge, so I will pop a little link up in the top corner. But what I don't think I mentioned there was that people were actually evacuated to Burnham, but unfortunately because of enemy aircraft and air raids flying over this area, they had to be shipped out of Burnham using the branch line in 1940, I believe it was. Now, one other interesting thing about Burnham-on-Crouch is that there was a train that used to come through this station that I've seen referred to as a secret train, and that was a train carrying basically nuclear waste from Bradwell Nuclear Power Station over to the other side of the country, up to Sellafield, to be disposed of. And local people thought it was a bit odd that this train that went through in the middle of the day on a Thursday wasn't actually on the timetable. And now there are unsubstantiated, I want to start with that, unsubstantiated rumours that people used to stand on the bridge over the line, and as soon as the train passed through, their Geiger counters, because of course loads of local people had Geiger counters in the whatever time period this was, were stood there and their Geiger counters went nuts when the train went through. Of course, it has been said that this is all nonsense, and I strongly suspect that it is. It's one of those little urban legends that just crops up. One other thing about Burnham-on-Crouch is that it is close to the Mangaps Railway Museum. Now, unfortunately, that is closed at this time of the year, so I won't be visiting there today, and I will have to come back at some point next year when it's open. Now we've talked about the history of Burnham-on-Crouch station, let's have a look round and see what's here today. One of these red grit bins again, obviously the flappy plastic bin. As I said, there's just one platform left, although if you look on the other side of the line you can see the remains of that old abandoned platform, very much overgrown now. We've got some delightful planters with little Christmas greetings on sticks. So that's very nice. Obviously this is going out after Christmas, but happy Christmas anyway. We've got some images of those flags, like what we saw at Battlesbridge on the fence here. Got a bit of a special bench, and it's one of those talking ones like we had at Manningtree. Does it work? Let's see.
Welcome to Burnham-on-Crouch, a historic maritime town that dates back as a settlement beyond the Roman times. You are listening to a brief town guide.
More bins. The bench is still talking, and we've got a bee identification guide, as we've seen before, and next to a butterfly identification guide. There is a smart card reader. Actually, there's two smart card readers. Cycle parking, the departure screen. Now, there is a ticket office here, it seems, but the opening hours are a bit restricted. It's not open on weekends and is only open 6:30am to 11am Monday to Friday. It is good that we do have some staff in at this station though. There's the help point and a ticket machine, and very handily, ticket machine not in use. So ticket machine not in use and ticket office closed. And I think aren't these driver only operated? Yes, they are. Okay, that's going to be fun. Just checking our next train time, and that is at 1400, so it's only in about 15 minutes. Let's go and take a wander out here. Obviously we've got the car park and some information signs about the local area. We've got the old station building, and that is still in use. Although I understand that it was actually derelict for a while, from the 80s to about 2015. Down here we've got even more car park leading down to what looks like an industrial area, builder's yard sort of thing. So I imagine this is the old goods yard, but I will double check that with old maps. Just looking under the canopy here, and there is some beautiful metal work. I think I'm going to take a little walk up those steps that I can see down there onto the road. Well, onto the road bridge, not like stand in the middle of the road or something. I'm not completely bonkers. And on the way there is this lovely information sign about Burnham-on-Crouch. Looking down there, there is a very nice view of the station building and the line. Out here we do have a sign directing you to the Saltmarsh Coast Trail. I have noticed we've got quite a few optimistic palm trees here. I call them optimistic because we really don't have the weather for palm trees. Just had a little glance through that window, I can see food. I do believe this may be a cafe. I'm now waiting for my next train, which is going to take me to Southminster.
Welcome to this service for Southminster. We will be calling at Southminster. The next stop will be Southminster.
So we have made it to Southminster. This is the eastern terminus of the Crouch Valley line. This was opened in 1889, the same as the other stations, and it was said that the Great Eastern Railway spent £13,560 on building this station for all sorts of fancy things, which I'll list on screen because I can't quite remember them all. And that was a heck of a lot of money back in the 1880s. I don't know what the conversion rate on that is to today money, so I'll have to look it up. There were extensive sidings at the station with a goods shed, cattle pens and locomotive turntable. There was also a line that went to gravel pits, and that went out of use in November 1979. The goods shed at the station was closed in 1965, and there was also a 36 lever signal box here, but that was unfortunately closed in 1986, and that was the time this line was electrified. Just harking back to what I was saying at Burnham about the so-called secret train, also known as the bomb train, for the disposal of nuclear waste. The said nuclear waste was transported to Southminster Goodyard by road, and there was a special crane constructed here to lift the containers that it was in from road to rail. And this continued until 2002, when Bradwell Nuclear Power Station was decommissioned. Now that we've had that little bit of station history, let's have a look round and see what's here at Southminster today. As I already mentioned, it is just the one platform here. We've still got the good old canopy to shelter under, complete with flappy plastic bin. I've just spotted this really cool mosaic-y artwork. On the front of the locomotive it says GER 1889 because it was opened by the GER in 1889. And over there we've got Santa driving it. They've got a different kind of metal bench here. I mean, I expect it'll still become the red hot bench of death in the summer, but it's different. We've got a ticket machine. Let's see if this one works. Yes, it would appear this one is working. There's also a help point next to a ramp for the 720s and a space where the departure screens should be. We've got some more mosaic-y artwork down here, which is, oh, that's the station building, and encouraging people to cycle to the station building. You can use a penny farthing if you want to. Personally, I wouldn't. It's another one of these don't get stuck on the train posters for 10 car units, which is very, very useful, but we're travelling on 5 cars today, so I don't really have to worry about where to go. As well as the different kind of bench, there's also a different kind of defibrillator. I've not seen one of these type before. I mean, it'll still be a defibrillator, it's just a different box. Down at the bottom end of the platform there is cycle parking, and obviously we've got the buffer stops at the end there. Now heading out of the station, we've got obviously the station car park. There is still the old station house here. Sadly that is no longer in use. I can see that some of the window panes are broken, so it's not being looked after. So I'm just having a little look at the bus times here from Southminster. At first I thought it looked like there was quite a few, but those are just the bus services. Down here, on Saturdays, 1, 2, 3, 4 buses, 2 buses on a Sunday, and 8 buses Monday to Friday, so it's not very regularly served at all. So we are now just waiting for our next train, which is going to take us to North Fambridge. We have made it to North Fambridge. As you can probably tell from those 2 trains I just filmed, this is the midpoint of the Crouch Valley line, and so here there is a passing loop because the rest of the line is just single track, but because it's the midpoint they need the passing loop so that 2 trains can come through here at once, kind of like North Walsham on the Bittern line, if you've ever seen my Bittern line video, and I'll give that a little link at the top. I think it's one of my much older videos. The station, as you can probably guess, opened in 1889 and was 2 platforms with station buildings, a goods yard with goods shed, cattle pens, and a 30-lever signal box, which was reduced to 10 levers in 1966. It was then taken out of action in 1985 and completely demolished in 1986. Also in 1986, the footbridge here had to be replaced with a higher footbridge because of the alternating current lines when the line was electrified. Interestingly, North Fambridge hasn't always been called North Fambridge. When the line opened, it was just called Fambridge and wasn't renamed to North Fambridge until 2007. Now that we've had that brief station history, let's have a little look round and see what there is here at North Fambridge today. We've still got just the 2 platforms with the usual benches and the cycle parking. There is a great big shelter here, and you have to watch your step a little bit when you go in and out, because there is that step, and I've come a bit foul of that, I suppose, a couple of times, nearly falling flat on my face. But in here we've got some lovely artwork that is absolutely beautiful. Now this, I presume, is of the local area, because this is a very, very picturesque area. As usual, we have got the departure screens, a smart card reader, although this is showing as being out of service, unfortunately. The other one works though. There's an interesting information board about the history of North Fambridge. Going out at the station, we've got the ticket machine next to the good old defibrillator. There's an Amazon locker called Princess, and here we've got a telephone box. But does it work? Oh, books only, no DVDs or magazines. So, no phone either? So, it is a miniature library. We have come across these before. I hope this is well used, because phone boxes increasingly aren't, and it's great that a good use of the space is being made. Out here we have got the car park. We've got that footbridge that was installed in 1986, so let's have a little wander over that and see what's on the other side. On the Southminster bound platform, we've got another brick-built waiting shelter, complete with double arrow on the side, and some interesting owl artwork. I do love owls. Oh, and a good old safety poster. There's also the help point and the departure screen. So back on the Wickford bound side of things, I have found this anchor, next to which is a sign saying to the coast. Now I know I can't get to the coast in the time I've got here, but let's have a go anyway. Well, I have decided to turn back now because, as you can probably see, we're nowhere near the coast, and also there is a lot of rain because it's raining, and there's droplets of rain on the lens of the camera. I think it's just best all round to head back to the station.
Welcome to this service for Wickford. We will be calling at South Woodham Ferrers, Battlesbridge and Wickford.
have just now arrived at South Woodham Ferrers, and we've lost the light very quickly, not helped by the fact that it's just started tipping it down. I was debating whether to just stay on the train and come back to South Woodham another day, but no, let's visit it while we're here. So when the station originally opened in 1889, it was actually called Woodham Ferrers, as in Ferris wheel. It was changed to Woodham Ferrers in 1913, and then to South Woodham Ferrers in 2007. It was originally a 2-platform station with a footbridge, goods sidings and a 36-lever signal box. The goods yard closed in 1964, and the second platform, the footbridge and the signal box were decommissioned in 1967. I've just spotted another shelter that is more enclosed, so let's go there for a bit. Dashing through the rain. Why do I do this again? So this shelter is definitely more enclosed, however we do have some noise from the overhead lines. I should have stayed on the train to Wickford. This is horrendous. So the level crossing east of the station was converted to automatic barriers in 1986 and then to half barriers in 1993. I would say let's go and have a look at it, but no, because I don't want to get hypothermia or pneumonia. Whatever it is you get if you get too wet and cold and awful, I don't know. This station was once the junction of a line to Malden West, but that line closed in 1953. The station was built to serve a place called Woodham Ferrers, which is to the north of where the station is. It's actually quite a way away, but over time a new settlement developed near the station, which was called South Woodham Ferrers, hence the name of the station, and the station now serves both Woodham Ferrers and South Woodham Ferrers. Now, this is the part where I usually say, let's go and have a look and see what's here at the station today. But I'm questioning whether I can do that. I mean, I probably will have to step out of the shelter at some point because I've got to get on the train. But I don't know if I really want to do that just yet while the weather is as it is. I may just stay in the shelter for the full 40 minutes. Who knows? Through the windows of this shelter, I can see the car park. It's definitely there. Also, looking across the other side of the line, there is the old platform that got taken out of use in the 60s. That is obviously very overgrown now and the track has been lifted. The station does have benches and enormous puddles presently. As you can see, we do have the old station building, and there's a canopy to shelter under if you're so inclined, or there is this shelter that I'm sheltering in. I'm going to make a mad dash for it and see what's under there. Flappy plastic bin. Oh God! Why didn't I wear my boots? Grit bin. More benches. Help point and defibrillator. Departure screen. And a free water refill point. That's always very welcome. Outside of like the big staffed stations, you don't see these that often. So it's excellent to see one of these. There's a ticket machine. And there's some shutters. Opening times for what I believe to be the ticket office is 6:15 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. Monday to Friday. Useful direction of travel sign. The rain has eased a little bit, so let's head out this way. Out this way is the car park, we've already seen that. There is cycle parking. Out here we do have the station building, sadly mostly no longer in use, but there is that ticket office. Over here on this mural we do have, they're not in service anymore, but we've got a dusty bin, a 321. And unusually for a lot of these artworks, it's actually got a number, 321441. And the mural is by Wallworks. These boards here have got poetry on, which is really quite cool. We've got onward travel information, which is always useful. As the rain has eased somewhat, I'm just going to take a little walk out this way. Down here is the level crossing with the half barriers that I talked about. And a lovely station sign. Oh yeah, there's a smart card reader. This is bad. The amount of water that's ponding on the platforms is, yeah, not the best. Oh, on this fence I've just noticed we have some nice artwork again. I am pleased to say that the sky is now brightening. just in time for it to go dark. While the rain has died down a little bit, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a like and drop a comment and consider subscribing to see more from me. I've been Sarah with the Trains, and I'll see you all next time for another railway adventure. Bye! As always, an extra special thank you to all of my patrons and channel members whose names are on screen right now, as well as to everybody who donates to me on Ko-fi. Your generous support keeps this channel going. If you'd like to become a patron or channel member, or buy me a coffee on Ko-fi, the links to do so are in the description below.